right? So there's a LRTS-I, and I want to look at 4.5 to 18 by 44, and there is the DMR2, 3.5 to 21 by 50 with a newish reticle, and now there's a rev limiter and zero stop, all that sort of stuff. Like the original, it's short and fat, but it looked pretty good. There is a cattail that I think is either removable or full folding. I think cattail on the powering, 10 mils per turn turrets. Turrets pop up and down, so they're locking. They have zero. I kind of like this actually. They have those comparatively simple Christmas tree style reticles. Everything you need, nothing you don't. And the scopes, ultimately, this basic platform now has enough track record where I'm reasonably confident of their durability and reliability, right? And this is the G3. So I had a G2 reticle before, now it's G3. And offhand, I don't remember what the differences are, but I like both. I looked at it somewhat carefully. It's a well conceived reticle. Aside from that, some new snazzy names for the red dot sights, Enrage and Golf and Senior 8, yada yada yada. Yeah, I don't care. I do marketing for a living. This is all marketing bullshit. These are the same OEM red dots that everybody else is selling with Bushnell specific cosmetics and names. Nothing wrong with these sites, but I'm not seeing anything terribly unusual. I may look at one or I might not. We'll see. But the Elite Tactical scopes are of interest to me. So that's Vista Outdoor, Bushnell, etc. I didn't see anything interesting on the Weaver side or Millet or anything. The only things that attracted me were the packages and the Elite Tactical rifle scopes. Oh, one thing that maybe I missed it last year. So I accidentally stole their tag from this spotter. So they have this little sort of a linear inline spotter, 8 to 40 by 60 millimeter, called LMSS, and it's got a Horus reticle in it. Conceptually, I like it. It's fairly compact, straight line. At 8 power, I can use it as a monocular. What I don't know is how good it really is. So maybe that would be a product I borrow from them and take a look. And the Horus reticle in it is, thank God, not quite in the center of the field of view. It's kind of on the bottom 1/3. And you want the ranging reticle and a spotter to be a little bit out of the way. So maybe that's something I should look at. I'm a little bit leery. It's a fairly broad magnification range for an inline spotter. They claim it's got ED glass and all sort of stuff. So the size is right. The price is, I think, reasonable. It's coated. It's basically like a roof prism spotter. Yeah, maybe it's worth looking at. Swarovski. Had a nice chat with the Swarovski guys. They didn't have anything really new, I think. There are the Z8 scopes that were introduced at IWA last year, Z8i, and 1 to 8 by 24, 1.7 to 13 by 42, 2 to 16 by 50, 2.3 to 18 by 56. It's a nice lineup. They're hunting style scopes, but the low power, the 1 to 8, will probably do well for 3-gun guys, and its illumination is very bright. It's kind of like a Z6 with a little more magnification, priced probably close to it. It's 5 to 10% more than Z6, but effectively I think it's a replacement for the Z6i illuminated scopes. Very fancy European scopes. They looked very good. They're cleverly done. One interesting thing for the Z8i, the 1 to 8 by 24 scope, was that it's expensive. It'll run probably 2,700 bucks. You can choose to either have a single illuminated dot or a circle dot, and you can change what you illuminate. And that's clever. These are the kind of things I like. I like new solutions to regional problems. Space Kit. So they have their tactical-ish X5i scope with the big ass turret and all that. which is nice, but honestly, if I want a big ass tactical scope, I might be inclined to just get a big ass tactical scope, not a hunting scope impersonating being tactical. But it is nice. It is, you know, beautiful color, beautiful optics. Everything tracks from what I hear, and nice turret and all that. So I don't know. Somehow this Z8 is of interest to me, and X5. Well, I appreciate how nice it is. It's, you know, another $3,500 scope. Not sure I care that much really. What I do care about is the new turret execution for the Z8. I took some pictures of it. It's going to be easier to explain. But basically, so there is the base turret, and onto which you can stack these customized rings, where you have a flag that indicates indicates different distances. So you can really very easily customize the turret for your needs without sending it anywhere. Just buy the turret kit, pop it on, and you're good to go. I'll post a picture, look it up on the website. I thought it was a very clever solution, and the clicks, the turret clicks on the scope were very reassuring. Obviously don't know how well it's going to track, but you know, I haven't had a whole lot of problems with Swarovski scopes in the past, so I assume it's going to track well. Another new thing, sort of a new thing for Swarovski for this year, is that Swarovski North America takes over the distribution of Kahles, right? In Europe, Kahles is still separate factory, separate organization, owned by the same family. Here it becomes Swarovski North America. And I don't know what to make out of that, because if you went into Swarovski booth, it's a large booth, and you know, you need a map and a compass to find a Kahles scope anywhere in there. As is, they are, best I can tell, they are not going to import Kahles hunting scopes. I didn't see any there. I don't think there were any. The only Kahles scopes I saw there were the 1-6 by 24, the excellent low range variable that Kahles makes, the 6-24 by 56, and the 10-50 by 56, the field target scope. The 3-12 that I liked is no longer going to be imported. I don't know if they will still be making it in Europe or not. I'll need to ask. But it looks like for now they're just bringing in 3 scopes: the 1-6, 6-24, and 10-50. So what the future holds for Kahles brand is not clear to me. I'm not sure it's clear to anyone. I don't know if there's a plan. I hope there is. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go look through my list of recommendations and yank all the Kahles scopes out of there, because I can't figure out if they're gonna be available. I'm sure they'll be supported, but I don't know how available they will be, you know, that jazz. So until that is straightened out, I'm gonna probably stop my coverage of Kahles scopes and wait and see. Yeah, Kahles binoculars I know more as well, at least in the US. I'll try to find out what they do in Europe, but for now Kahles is effectively off my radar until I see a little bit of stability. Athlon Optics, newish company, started out a bit over a year ago. Ran into them by accident at SHOT. These are the former Bushnell guys that decided that Bushnell moves too slow. They have good relationships with different OEMs, and went off and immediately put together a seriously substantial product line. I think I had some basic notes on Athlon. Let me see. I do. All right, so Kronos rifle scopes are made in Japan. Everything else made in China, but made pretty well. For the Kronos, there is a 4.5-29 by 56 scope that's done fairly well in last year. I assume people like it. They've got some changes to the reticle and some changes to the cosmetics. The way the parallax now works, I think, a little closer. A couple other things, but fundamentally the same. A basic scope, the 1-6 that I looked at the 1-6, and it was a good scope. I liked it. These are both made by Light Optics Works. Stays unchanged. What is new and interesting, this was for me one of the highlights of the show. So they have a new line of Ares rifle scopes, A-R-E-S. I'm used to saying this Ares. Ares was a Greek god of war. There are 2 new front focal plane variable Ares scopes, 2.5-15 by 50 and 4.5 to 27 by 50. The scopes look like they're made by the same company that makes the Midas scopes, and that's the same company that makes the new Hawk Frontier and Sturka S7. So I've seen the second focal plane scopes from that factory, and I was pretty impressed. I thought they were well made, well polished, calibrated. I tested a couple; they worked well. This Ares is the first front focal plane scope I see from that factory. Having seen the second focal plane stuff, I have high hopes for it. These are going to be front focal scopes, not terribly heavy, around 27 ounces thereabouts, in the $700 to $800 range. So the configurations are about right, the price is right, the weight is right, same pretty decent Athlon reticles. They have the same basic reticle style they use, and it's a good reticle. And Athlon has good customer support. They are fundamentally really trying to do well, and I think they will do well. So this was interesting. 2.5 to 15 by 50 front focal plate, illuminated and everything, is right up my alley. So as soon as it's available, I'm gonna get one from Athlon and spend some quality time beating it up. I hope it works. If it works, it will do really well. But just playing with it at shot, all the controls are well worked out, well weighted, good leverage. Nothing is too stiff, nothing is too soft. Turrets have decent feel. If it holds up, it's gonna do really well for them. Aside from that, so they've got new line. I think they're calling it Helos, something like that. It's similar to the some other line they've got. I'll tell you right now. Like I said, my memory is not what it used to be. So Helos is 6 to 24 by 50 and 8 to 34 by 56. I think it's made in the same place where that makes their Argos and Talos, whatever. Scopes Helos BTR is front focal plane also. I don't think they're quite as nice as Ares, and they're a little cheaper. If they hold up, they should be a decent budget front focal plane scope, but I will admit that looking through it, I thought that Ares looked notably better, and that's what I'm gonna focus on. So the Helos is more of a budget offering for them. Another really interesting for Athlon was the compact spotter. So they have an Ares spotter. It's a tiny thing from 7 to 22 power, so 7.5 to 22.5, which I like. It's almost fits in the palm of my hand, and it sort of lives in my range bag, etc. I use it all the time. It's good enough for my purposes. But they have a smallish 50mm spotter in the Kronos line. I think it's made in China, but it's a much higher end design. And I sort of gave them an earful last year about needing a reticle in it and a straight eyepiece and all this other stuff. So they bring it in. It looks nice. It's got a reticle in it. And so Athlon guys are listening. They're paying attention. They're doing good things. It's about the same size as the Vortex Razor 50mm and Nikon 50mm field scope and all that. And it's a really nice looking scope, and they've got a variable eyepiece with a reticle in it. The scope they had, there was a prototype. It's not production yet. The reticle